Full 9 from St. Elizabeth Healthcare. You mentioned a Cowboy in the initial open, heavy with right-handed hitters today against a pitcher who oddly has reverse splits.
Yeah, and I think it just bodes to make the importance even greater on J.J. Bleday, simply because he's been hitting well for the Reds to begin with, but the Reds' hottest hitter right now is hitting in the 3 spot, Spencer Steer. It doesn't matter how good you're hitting if you don't have anybody on base to drive in. So the onus falls on Dane Myers and especially J.J. Bleday in that lefty-on-lefty matchup.
And there's the left-hander, the 26-year-old Matthew Liberatore. Sunday against the Cubs, he went 5 1/3 scoreless, only 3 hits on an efficient 85 pitches.
Well, the Reds jumped out early, got 3 runs on the board rather quickly. It didn't work out well in that ball game simply because the bullpen had some difficulties late. But anytime you can get out to an early lead, that really benefits a pitcher like Nick Lodolo, and it forces Liberatore to really have to work hard early in the ball game. It's a hot Saturday afternoon here in St. Louis, and really very few starters start out pristine with their control.
First strike delivered. The Reds have handled lefties pretty well. They're 10-4 against left-handed starters. That's the 3rd best such record in the big leagues. And Dane Myers had a pinch hit double 8th inning on Wednesday against the Royals, his first action of this series, but he is familiar leading off. 9th time he has served as the leadoff man this year, and when he bats first, he gets on base at a nearly .350 rate. All 3 of his home runs have come when he's batted in that first position.
Yeah, you saw that big curveball from Liberatore. Now he wants to cut it in on your hand, just like that.
Rolled to short of the backhand. Mason Wynn, he has the arm. There are few that could make that throw as seemingly effortlessly as Wynn did.
Well, Wynn is quick to the ball, and watch how quick his arm is as he gets rid of it. It's short, it's up around the right ear, and it comes out like a bullet. It does not take him any time at all. He doesn't have to wind up, doesn't have to take some big crow hop. He just can flat dart it to first base.
That throw was 92 miles an hour as Bleday fouls back strike 1. Now, you mentioned the curveball for Liberatore. That is influenced by his boyhood idol, and I'm not great at math, but the years are a little different than you would think. He idolized Sandy Koufax, certainly an all-time great, but decades removed from their shared time in terms of pitching. In fact, he changed his number this year to 32 to honor Sandy Koufax.
Well, the one thing that Liberatore does well is he will pitch inside. Now, you got an out with the cutter there with Dane Myers following the curveball. You'll see that combination a lot here today to the right-handed hitters. He does have occasion to leave that cutter on the plate. That's where he gives up the long ball.
And Bleday drives this one to left center. Nelson Velasquez records the second out. Cardinal defense, Velasquez joined by the speedy Victor Scott II and the outstanding arm of Jordan Walker in the outfield. Jose Fermin plays a bit of everywhere. He's at third base today, has not been charged with an error since 2023. Plays all 3 outfield spots in many positions on the infield. Strike 1 on Steer, who, as you mentioned, the Reds' most consistent hitter on base and a baseball active best 23 straight.
And he does have a career long ball against Liberatore.
As Steer, the man on deck, Sal Stewart, who went off on September the 15th last year against Liberatore, and Noelvi Marte have all taken him deep, along with lefty on the bench, Nathaniel Lowe. And that's where there are some parallels between Liberatore and yesterday's starter Kyle Leahy. Both were mostly relievers on the front side of their career. It's only season 2 as a true starter for Liberatore, who is allowing home runs at a career worst rate. This one is sent to right, hangs for Walker. Reds go in order. Nick Lodolo goes to the mound. Back-to-back quality starts entering today. We'll see if that breaking ball continues to be in play. He seems to be finding a path of late. One of the foundational strengths of this year's Reds, Nick Lodolo, is looking more and more like Nick Lodolo of late.
He is. It was gradual getting back. It's tough to get all your sharpness back pitching at the big league level, but it seems like he is headed in that direction. I thought he pitched very well against the Braves. Granted, he did give up the 2 home runs, but I thought he was aggressive and using all of his pitches in the zone.
Faces Mason Wynn. Cardinals have won consecutive games. Foul tip strike. Wynn was aboard 3 times yesterday. While he went 0 for 2, he drew a couple of walks, was hit by a pitch, drove in a run, and scored a run. Yet again, no J.J. Weatherholt. And Wynn guides this to right field. He's got a little skip to Noel V. Marte. Leadoff base hit. Full 9 for the Cardinals, who haven't won 3 in a row since mid-May. Herrera, Walker, who broke out the extra base hits yesterday. Velasquez, who had not been to the big since 24. First pitch he saw as a Cardinal was a 3-run homer to tie a game. Burleson, Fermin, Torres, Pajes, and the speedy Scott. Well, by combination of schedule quirk and his own injury, Nick Lodolo has oddly not seen the Cardinals much on his career.
And that should bode well for him, because the more times that you see an opponent, they have a better idea about how you're going to try to get them out the second and the third time through.
Ivan Herrera, base hit, a ribby, and a walk yesterday, scored twice. Sends this ball high in the air, left field. Blake Dunn gets the nod there today. 1 down. Dunn making his 5th career start in left field, his first of this season. I asked him today, what's different about left field? And he said the spin of the ball is unique to him in left. He said particularly with right-handed hitters, and because more lineups have more right-handed bats, you get a little English that's different with the left-handed Lodolo starting. Up that number even a little bit today. Downstairs to Jordan Walker, who doubled twice yesterday, his first extra base hits in 13 days since he went off against the Reds. Doubleheader May 23rd. Pitch in there for a strike. Our benefits all in keys to the game. The cleanup man for the St. Louis Cardinals is a far more unknown quotient.
Yeah, I think when you look through this lineup, it's pretty normal as far as Lodolo is concerned. Brian Torres may be a little bit of an outlier, but the guy that's hitting in the middle of the order, he's in between Walker and Alec Burleson, and that's Nelson Velasquez. And he has faced Lodolo before, and he has hit him well.
Yeah, Walker twisting Pop Stewart, and Higgins give a look. That's in the foul seats.
But Velasquez was not a guy that the Reds got to look at in the doubleheader in Cincinnati. So he's kind of that unknown factor. And you look at this lineup and you think, all right, well, this guy's hitting 4th. He's got to be doing something. Comes into the game hitting .462 and some limited at bats. But it makes you take a little bit of a double look if you're a pitcher facing this lineup with him right there where he's at.
This is the first time that Lodolo has ever faced Walker. Lodolo did get his first major league win against the Cardinals. That was his 3rd start. That was back in April of 2022. Swung through, strike 3.
Lodolo thinking right along with me. Okay, I've not faced you before. I've got 2 strikes. Let's see if you can hit my A number 1. Put that feather in the back of my cap for later.
Well, entering this game, the league hitting just 120 against his breaking ball. 3 for 25, 11 strikeouts in that time.
And that's hitting the breaking ball that's been not the A breaking ball.
Bounce to third, Suarez.
That was a bit anticlimactic, was it not? We'll take it.
Leadoff hit, and that's all. Win never leaves first. Sal Stewart will lead it off for the Reds. Scoreless game, second inning. Terry Francona got tossed in the first yesterday, so he's still there here in the second today. Got tossed trying to help defend his man Sal Stewart. Uses ABS on the first pitch, powered by T-Mobile.
Pitch is a strike, batter's challenge.
Notice he didn't say called a strike, said was a strike.
Actually, he's wrong. It was a ball.
Cincinnati retained.
That's what ABS is for. Now, Stewart stretched on a throw from Spencer Steer and was called by Ben May, the man who's calling balls and strikes today. He was at first base, to have been off the bag. It went to video review and the call was stands. So I wonder if there was no point, he's off the bag, what would have happened with a video review? Now, the angles we saw, and that's a tough foul off Pedro Pajes, who needs a moment. It was hard to tell the depth on the video, but when you freeze frame it, I mean, it looked like he was on there, and that was a huge play because a couple of runs later came in.
Yeah, it really changed the drama of that first inning, and looks like he's on the bag to me.
That would have been end of inning. Now, Stewart's been coming on again. You mentioned he has homered against Liberatore. He had 2 hits yesterday, 2-run double, also walked and scored. His last 9 games, hitting .324, on base nearly .400 in that time. Swing and a miss.
Well, this curveball from Liberatore, when it's on, it can rival the swing and miss value of the Reds' Nick Lodolo. And if you chase that pitch all day, it's going to be a long afternoon because that's a ball.
Eugenio Suarez had a ribby hit yesterday. First pitch bounced to short. Win. Now, even though Liberatore's only in his second year starting, he was named the Cardinals' opening day starter this year. Did well in that first game, struggled then in April, pitched to a 5.33 ERA, but did far better in May, a sub-4, 3 runs or less 4 times. And he got a lot of strikeouts in May. Squared a bunt, dropped down by Dunn. It's got more steam than he'd like. And he's tagged out by Burleson. The lefties are on early. Liberatore showing his breaking ball. Lodolo much the same. Scoreless still at the start in St. Louis.
Steelers.
Sun's out, tarps off here in St. Louis. Not nearly as dense of a section as yesterday, but it's the early stage and a pretty bright sun. First pitch, Nick Lodolo gets a foul bouncing from Burleson.
Well, in a day game here, especially with the way the sun is now, tarps off, burns on. As you're in the first inning and you've already got your shirt off.
SPF 1000 might help. Now, how much concern is there, Jim Day, for Nick Lodolo and his blister history and issues on a warmer, humid day like this.
Well, the blister this year was extreme heat at the end of spring training. In the past, when he's had it in the minor leagues, it's been on hot days. Now, when he's been asked about his blister issue this time around, he's always deferred and said, let's wait until I pitch a couple of games in the heat. This is the hottest game that he has pitched this year.
Sent over a leaping steer at second, a left-on-left hit for Burleson.
Looked like a breaking ball. This one didn't quite bite as good as what Lodolo wanted it to. It stayed middle away. Kind of a lunging swing by Burleson, but he got the barrel to it.
Is that part of it, though, Cowboy, when you're dealing with that kind of humidity, heat, and moisture?
Yeah, I think it's
first pitch for Mean to right. 2 on.
I think it's in the back of your mind, but you look at the game plan for the Cardinals, it's very evident right away. They know that Lodolo uses the changeup and the breaking ball a lot. He doesn't throw a lot of fastballs in. So if that's the case, our game plan is we're going to inside out everything. We're going to try to hit the ball the other way, and that's where the balls are going from these right-handed hitters.
2 on for Brian Torres. Walked and scored yesterday. Corners crash in case of bunt. He does square. Stabbing try was pulled back. Appeal says he yanked the bunt back. He has won for his last 13. 4 strikeouts in that time. Corners remain shallow. Stewart darts in from first. Bunt yank back, strike. When I asked Lodolo his overall feel, he admitted the curveball was a little behind the fastball and the changeup, and he said for him it was more about arm slot than anything else. Bunt dead into third. Suarez bare hand. Safe. Bases loaded.
Suarez is playing in. He comes after it. Bare hands, throws, and Torres just flat beat it out.
No pickle now with Pedro Pajes standing in. Pajes' lifetime is at .318 against the Reds. That includes 3 homers. He's not really known as a power man, but that's tied for his highest total against any one team, Reds and Cubs. And Cowboy, this is where strikeouts in sequence could aid Lodolo. That's normally a big part of his recipe.
Well, he's got to reach back for a little bit extra here. You do have the bottom of the order at the plate. Victor Scott, a left-hander, is in the on-deck circle, but you got to figure out a way to strike out Pajes here.
1-2. All changeups so far this AB. And the heater up. Try to backdoor it. Full count. Nowhere to put him. Bases full. 3-2. Lifted right field. Marte coming in hard. Gets to it. Runner was halfway at third. Marte's arm so strong, 1 away.
Well, that's a great play by Marte. He had to come a long way to get that ball. And not only did he get to it with his arm strength, they had to hold the runner at third base. in Burleson. Reds catch a break right there. That normally falls. Marte covered a lot of ground.
Now the bunt could be in play here for Victor Scott II. Corners are in a couple of steps. Dunn cheats in some at left. Scott is a lefty who has hit lefties this year. 286. The 6th highest among National League qualifiers for left-handed hitters against left-handed pitching.
Well, the Reds give him the open left side of the infield. They're playing McLean up the middle. And when we've seen Victor Scott make contact, that's exactly where it is. A routine ground ball to the shortstop position right here might very well net you 2 runs.
1-2.
And make no mistake about it, that's what he's trying to do.
Has not shown the breaking ball yet, this AB. One-two. That is slapped to right. Marte coming on again. Has to play it on a bounce. Burleson scores a softly served single, and the Reds are down 1-0.
And that looked like the breaking ball there, John. It just hung over the middle of the plate.
Top of the order, Mason Wynn. Single to right to begin the game for the Cardinals. Strike 1 for Lodolo. We've seen a lot of his changeup this season. Grounded through, base hit. That's multiple runs. Fermin scores. Torres scores. Scott first to third. Reds down 3-0.
It's a lot of right-handed hitters going the other way. And they're not trying to get the ball in the air. They're trying to hit the ball on the ground into that first, second base hole, and they have been successful thus far. But where you know, John, that Lodolo has been throwing his changeup more this year and backdoor breaking balls, more times than not, that's where he's locating early fastballs. I can assure you, in our world of analytics today, that the Cardinals know that as well, and that's what their game plan has been from pitch number 1 when Mason Wynn stood at the plate and hit the ball through the right side of the infield.
Ivan Herrera has flied to left. Strike 1. Already a half dozen hits for the Cardinals, and 5 have come this inning. They've all been singles, but it's been a death by 1,000 cuts. These singles are adding up. Way high, handled by Higgins. I saw Matt Tracy out there for the visit. Higgins making his first start since Sunday, just his second in 2 weeks since the doubleheader against the Cardinals May 23rd. Hard foul. That was not missed by much.
Well, there haven't been any fastballs under the hands of the right-handed hitters. Every fastball has been away. Backdoor breaking balls, changeups, all away.
One-two. Hard foul. Well, the 6 hits that Lodolo has surrendered already tie his season high. And there's 1 out in what's a 3-run second inning with men at first and third. Scott off third base. 1-2 again. Yanked wide.
Anytime that a hitter has a take at the plate and you can see the hitter trying to stop himself from falling over the plate, that should tell you right away this is what they're doing. They are trying to dive out over the plate and hit the ball on the outside corner. There's nothing wrong with throwing the ball right at the hands of the hitter. I'm not talking about knocking them down, anything else. You get the ball right in on their hands, and then they'll have to change their game plan a little bit.
You saw that nugget there, how Herrera has often delivered the necessary contact to get a man in from third, less than 2 outs. Has that very different batting stance. You know, he has handled with contact Reds pitching incredibly well on his career. What do you see in how Herrera tends to protect the plate and swing against Lodolo's action?
Well, he's just trying to take the ball in the big part of the ballpark, right back up the middle. He's trying to guard against overswinging, and that's what he's doing. You can see the hands come in there, fighting off that breaking ball. He's trying to shoot the ball up the middle and the other way. But this has been the plan for the Cardinals from the first batter. See, that's what he's not trying to pull that ball. If he was trying to pull it, he would have smoked it. He's trying to hit the ball the other way.
2-2 to Suarez. Second one. In time, double play.
That is a huge double play right there. I don't know how the Reds got that off, but they surely did.
Well, desperately needed. Cardinals ponder a challenge. They will not. Suarez leads it off, and Steer on the pivot. A critical DP to end the inning. Welcome back to Reds TV, presented by Benefits All In. Well, it was the Reds who had a 3-0 lead yesterday, lost. Cardinals tallied 10 unanswered. Can the Reds flip the script? They're down 3-0, bottom third, 2 up. Noelvi Marte leads it off. Got a base hit last night. He also lined out to second base. Marked the first hit for Marte since his most recent return from AAA. And Liberatore coming off a 7-pitch inning. Got 2 outs on 1 pitch apiece. Marte takes. Now, one of Marte's chronicled difficulties on his career has been handling left-handed pitching. He has handled Liberatore pretty well, including a home run. And Barry Larkin saw Noelvi Marte down in AAA and commented even how he took in his walk that final game of the homestand, suggested the work that he was doing with the hitting coaches was paying off and should aid him against lefties.
Well, part of the reason that Noelvi has handled a guy like Liberatore is Liberatore throws in a lot, and that's the ball that Noelvi handles. Where Marte has had his trouble is with change-ups and pitches that are on the outside part of the plate from a lefty that are running away.
3-2. And Marte, who certainly at times expanded the zone, has now had some really good takes in his handful of games back and works a walk. First Reds base runner today. He's on for Matt McLain, who Wednesday against the Royals singled, walked, and scored. Does find himself 3 for his last 34, 11 strikeouts.
This is one of those days for a pitcher when you have an elevated pitch count in one singular inning, especially early, whether it be Lodolo or Liberatore. that bear of fatigue can jump on you in a hurry because it's hot and you start to get to that 20-25 pitch mark. Things don't quite come out the way they should.
3-0.
And ultimately what it causes is a mental breakdown because you're hot and you can feel the heat on top of you. And once that mental breakdown begins to happen, your mechanics fall apart.
Gotta think this is a take. 3-0. Elevated miss. Back-to-back walks begin the inning. So Pages out for a chat with Liberatore. 2 are on for P.J. Higgins. Looks like Alec Burleson is staring down the dugout, standing on the infield grass. He just hand motioned, where do you want me? Do you want me in case of a bunt? Do you want me back behind the runner? Now Higgins Sunday against Atlanta had an RBI double.
But I would implore patience right now.
Burleson plays in front of McLean at first. Strike one.
Now you can go to work.
Higgins has had 26 plate appearances as a Red. Does have a couple of sacrifices. Burleson is backed up at first base. 1-1. Reds have 2 of their faster runners on the bases. That's something about Marte that I'm not sure Reds fans readily recognize. He's a bigger, strong dude. He is fast.
Well, he just showed that in that play he made in right field earlier.
This is lifted right side on this sunny day. Torres. Brief word now from UDF.
UDF's got ice cream quakes. The ice cream, real. The mix-ins, big. The choice, yours. Ice cream quakes from United Dairy Farmers.
Top of the order, Dane Myers has bounced into a ground out. He squares, drops down a good one to third base. Barehand on the run, safe. Fermin could not get it there in time. Hand up from Marmol, considering a challenge, a 6-7 celebration on a bunt hit for Dane Myers.
Great play by Fermin. I think he did everything he could possibly do there. He got in position, the angle, the throw, and just the raw speed of Dane Myers. He beats it out.
So now bases loaded for the powerful J.J. Bleday. Just beat it out. Bleday is flying to left. Left on left against Liberatore. First pitch bounced fair, and it bounces by Burleson. Marte scores. McLean comes home. Stop sign for Myers. It just skipped by the Cardinal first baseman. Second time that's happened to him in the last week, and the Reds have made it a 1-run game.
Yeah, he had a chance to get over on this ball, and he tried to backhand it and stab at it. It's not a real good play by Burleson. That's a play you got to make.
Scored an E3. Remember, it was errors that fueled the Cardinal comeback. Reds got out to a 3-0 lead. Errors opened the door. Here today, the Reds were down 3-0, and a miscue part of the fuel in trimming the deficit to 1. So 2 runs in, second and third, 1 out. Spencer Steer about to stand in. Here's our Kia player profile. Against lefties, best average on the team, third best OPS. And Cowboy, here a fly ball can mean a run. Steer is one of the ideal Reds for this situation.
Well, at this point, with one out, I think you're trying to keep your foot on the accelerator.
First pitch in the air, deep left. Velasquez going back. On the track, he's got it. Runner tags at third. Sac fly RBI. Myers scores. Steer gets it done. The Reds have rallied to tie it at 3.
Well, that ball was smoked all the way to the base of the wall out by the Reds bullpen. Might have had just enough topspin to keep it in the park. I thought when he hit it, he had a chance.
Now the Reds have one hit, but they've come back even at 3. Go-ahead run in scoring position for Sal Stewart.
It's amazing how those bases on balls just wreck an inning.
Back-to-back walks at the start. Those were the first 2 in for the Reds. Large lead for Bleday. Stewart takes ball 1. Helmet tap, ABS. He did it immediately.
Call strike is being challenged by the batter.
As the pitch landed, his head swiveled, and as soon as he saw that finger move, he hit the helmet. And he's right again. That's way below the zone.
Call's overturned.
That was a nasty pitch, too.
He has not seen a fastball this AB. It's been changeup and then back-to-back breakers. 2-1. He likes to challenge. He wins a lot of challenges. Time called by Stewart, who leads all National League rookies.
And he's going to lose some challenges, but they are borderline. I mean, those kind that you could barely slide a piece of paper in there. It pays this day and age to know the strike zone. Not only for what you think you can swing at and hit, but what you know is a strike and not a strike.
Yeah, there's a declarative nature to Sal Stewart. Fouled back. Now he's having a great year. He leads all National League rookies in hits, homers, doubles, RBIs. He and the Cardinals' J.J. Weatherholt seem to be the early front runners among position players in Rookie of the Year consideration in the National League.
See, that one call from Spencer Steer on the challenge, that last curveball from Liberatore was terrible. He tried to start it a bit higher so it didn't drop so low, and that could cause him some problems as we move forward.
Swung through, strike 3. Well, the Reds respond. Couple of walks at the start. Dane Myers shocks him with the bunt. Bleday bounces one by, and Steer helps get a run in.
Delivers.
Well, Nick Lodolo saw his offense put 3 right on the board. New game, bottom 3. You've seen a definitive philosophy from these Cardinal hitters, how they've tried to attack Lodolo. How does he best respond this inning?
Well, the best way to respond to a team that's diving out over the plate is to throw the ball off the inside corner. Not at their feet, above the belt, right at the hands. Because if you can make the hands retreat, you'll keep the hands from going out over the plate to hit the baseball.
Gets ahead on Walker.
It's not like you have to do that to everybody. You just have to show that you're willing to do that and make it kind of a spectacle a little bit, and they'll stop diving out there.
Now, Lodolo had a few flatter breaking balls that were more middle, but he did punch out Walker on a breaker, and he just threw maybe his best one of the game to go to 0-2. Opposite way, exactly what you're talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. And they obviously have talked about that when they got back into the dugout. That's the first time today that we've seen Higgins slide inside, stand up, a little taller stance, and put his glove right up under the hands of the hitter.
Now away, and that's blistered beyond Stewart for a base hit. So the Cardinals have begun each of the 3 innings so far with a single off Lodolo. It's now a season high 7 hits surrendered by the southpaw. Velasquez saw 1 pitch his first time, grounded out to third base. As a Cardinal, Velasquez now 6 for 14. He homered on the first pitch he saw as a Cardinal, which marked his first big league time in a couple of years. Broke in with the Cubs, had time also with Kansas City. He's a lifetime .218 hitter entering this game. And oddly enough, like some of the other Cardinals, he's not quite a cup of coffee guy, but limited big league time. He's hit the Reds.
You can see with Velasquez, he's not buying into that hitting the ball the other way thing. He is a pull hitter. He is going to try to pull the baseball.
There are those numbers lifetime against the Reds, including a couple of triples. He's been an extra base hit man in his big league time. And this one has some carry to right. Marte. It is a big ballpark, Cowboy. I was chatting with Blake Dunn about how big it is. He made that great grab on the track in left center yesterday. And he's a burner. He's one of the fastest Reds. And he talked about the depth of the gaps. I mean, 400 to center, that's fairly standard. But these gaps go a long way.
Corners of the bullpen doors. It's a long way back there.
Burleson singled and scored his first time. Runner goes, good jump, pitch missed away, throw down, safe. So Walker has tied his career high at 10 steals. Three and 0. 3 straight heaters, all out of the zone. All down and away, left on left. Scored 4 runs last night, a career high. And Lodolo misses. So the lefty Burleson aboard for a second time, 2 on with 1 out. First walk issued by Lodolo today. And Cowboy, if there is a Cardinal, and you saw this hitting approach early, but if there's one who seems to be set up for it, Jose Fermin is right in that category. First pitch single that he inside outed to right his first time. feel like Fermin and Herrera, the way that they tend to swing kind of fits that idea. Double play could help things. Check swing appeal. He went.
Interesting, on the pitch before, Fermin didn't even take the bat off his shoulder. It was on the inside corner. That pitch started away and he began his swing. Tried to check it, but the ball broke underneath the bat.
Larger lead for Walker. Tight heater, 2-2. Fouled off of the batter, and a tumble of anguish for Fermin. Oof. Lodolo needed just 9 pitches, 8 strikes to get through a scoreless first. Pitch count has soared up since. Way wide. Feels like this hot day has zapped some of the energy from the Tarps off crew. They're already off a little bit of a half step. And the payoff popped up. Steer. Fermin, look at that bump that's already erupting off his left shin. That's where he fouled that ball.
That's big enough to get somebody to sign that.
Torres rolls it over to first. Stewart. And Lodolo strands them both.
Hard.
The Ohio Lottery postgame concert series is back, featuring John Party, Marshmello, Rick Ross, and Ludacris. Plus, upgrade your tickets for an up-close view with a field pass. Tickets, more information, reds.com/concerts. Eugenio Suarez takes a first pitch strike. He saw one pitch his first time, bounced out to short. Called at the plate, strike 3 without appeal. Third strikeout for Liberatore. Now Dunn, to try to bunt his way on, put a 2-strong lead at first, grounded out. Dunn had a couple of hits and scored yesterday. His last 16 games entering today, 20 hits, just 1 point under 300 in that time. He has shown an ability to go to all fields, has shown some power at times. is clearly, Cowboy, a different hitter right now than his first 2 tours in the big leagues.
Without a doubt. More comfortable, able to handle tougher pitches.
And that is sent sharply beyond short. Base hit. He turns. Scott able to get it in.
You know, it's a credit to Dunn, because when he came up through our system, matter of fact, when he first got to the big leagues, he was in that really low crouch and almost coming up to meet the ball. He's always hit well. He's always had great hand-eye coordination. But I think he realized, being here last year, this crouch thing is not working.
Now, Liberatore does have a pretty good pickoff move. Dunn has an average lead. Marte takes ball 1.
But I mean, it takes a lot of self-confidence and the willingness to take a risk to do the change that Dunn did by standing up, changing the way that he sees the ball. But I'll say this, it's paid quite the dividend.
And that's what the big leagues can teach a young player, right? You come to the big leagues with a certain skill set, with accomplishments. You don't really fail up to the big leagues. You're generally successful through the minor leagues. Telegraph toss.
But when you get here, you realize, okay, what do I need to do? How do I need to refine my game so that I can be successful here and get those big paychecks? Well, if you stay with that same old swing or keep throwing those same old balls in the dirt, you know what? You ain't making nothing.
Dunn took a couple of big steps towards second, never really broke. That first pickoff toss by Liberatore was just a cookie. He has 3 pickoffs this year. It's tied for the most in the National League and the second most in the majors. Yeah, it's similar, Cowboy, in the case of college basketball. There's now a process where the young stars declare for the NBA draft, work out, and in those workouts they're graded and given feedback. Hey, you're not quite good enough at this. You probably are a mid-late second-round pick. There's only 2 rounds in basketball. That's not good. Go back to college, work on this. Then they withdraw. They don't get drafted. They retain their, if you want to call it amateur status, whatever it is today. They try to become a more complete player. Dunn goes to 2. Throw down tails a bit, and Dunn steals second. That was not the best jump for Dunn, and he still got it.
And I'm sure that in that sport, as it is with any sport, you have those athletes that say, well, I've always done it like this. This is where I feel most comfortable. Well, you know what? Okay, you feel most comfortable doing it like that. There's an insurance company right down the road. You can go down there and sell insurance, because you're not playing up here. You have to adjust.
Yeah, and that's where first taste of the bigs. Dunn's a great example. You know, the first 2 runs of the bigs did not go great.
Yeah, this is not everybody gets a trophy league. You have to make adjustments, and you got to fight for it.
And he has done that, and he's earned some regular playing time.
I mean, he's made some plays in center field that make you sit up and take notice. He's thrown some balls from right field. I mean, he's played all 3 outfield positions, and he played them well. But he's shown off speed, the ability to get great angles, and a great arm.
Swung through by Marte, strike 3.
But most importantly, we don't get to see any of those 3 things unless he's able to make the adjustment in the batter's box, and he has done that. So now we get to see the more complete player of Blake Dunn.
Matt McLean walked on 4 and later scored just last inning. McLean with the nod at shortstop today. Steer at second. Arroyo is on the bench today. Now turns on this ball to left field. A good launch by McLean and gone. A pull job 2-run homer He snaps the tie and has the Reds ahead. The Thunder for a 5-3 lead.
Tried to cut that ball in, did Liberatore, and he left it on the plate, and Matt McLain hammered it. Talking about this at the beginning of the ball game, he may get some outs with that breaking ball, running it up under the hitter's hands. But sooner or later, as the game progresses, you start to have a little bit of fatigue. You're going to miss one of those breaking balls. That's a dangerous spot when it's down and in to any hitter.
Well, number 6 for McLain. Higgins has popped out to second. This is shade some of what happened yesterday, but full Missy Elliott. Flip it and reverse it. Reds were up 3-0 yesterday. Saw St. Louis rattle off 10 unanswered. Cruised away in the later stage. Today the Reds were down 3-0. They have scored 5 unanswered to take the lead. 2-1. Elevated miss. The command clearly off in the wake of that home run. You saw that snap of the glove for Liberatore. This ties for the most runs he surrendered in a game this year, and that one is hit fairly well to left by Higgins. Velasquez. Well, Matt McLain sent one right under the sign of Big Mac land. Little Mac with a 2-run shot and a Reds lead. Play ball weekend is here, encouraging youth everywhere to get out and play. Visit playball.org today to learn more. Sign up for free events near you. Let's all play ball. Reds lead it. Middle game in St. Louis this weekend. 5-3 thanks to a Matt McLain 2-run homer last half inning. Nick Lodolo to the mound to take on Pedro Pages, who has flied to right. I'm sure there's a part of Nick Lodolo that wishes his start in this last turn would come in San Diego. He is, of course, from Southern California, a little more north up in Orange County, but does have some family there as well. But just plain being on the road, you touched on it early, he has some pretty wide home road splits. Why is that? Why is he so much more dominant on his career away from Cincinnati?
I think that some of it is mental. Some of it obviously is the carry at Great American Ballpark. But when you make a quality pitch and a guy hits the ball in the air and you think it's going to be a routine out and it goes over the wall, it becomes deflating.
Nasty swing and miss, strike 3.
And I think at that point it becomes a mental tenacity issue. If you're worried about making a pitch and it getting popped up and hit out, then you're behind in the count a lot. And you look at his numbers. I mean, a 4.78 ERA at home, 3.42 on the road. That is a major disparity.
Yeah, the last Red that had splits of that ilk that I can readily remember, and it's brought up some because he just had a tough time on his last visit there, was Tyler Mahle.
And Mahle was the same way, because Mahle is a fly ball pitcher. He liked to pitch at the top of the zone. And when he had to go to crunch time, he wanted you to hit the ball in the air, not on the ground.
Corners had been in some. They backed up with strike 2. And that's where Jim Day on your podcast, I thought among the many insights from Nathaniel Lowe when he sat in as your co-host, and I do hope we hear him again. He talked about how if you hit the ball in the air at Great American and it's not a home run, it's off and an out.
Yeah, and I've said this before, Great American Ballpark is listed as a hitter's park. I think it's a home run park. Hitter's park would suggest that you could get a lot of hits, hit for average. It is not that. The smaller outfield makes it harder to get a base hit, particularly to get triples, even doubles at times. I think it's a home run park and not a hitter's park.
And I feel similarly, Cowboy, when you look at Colorado. And I think most people think Colorado home run launching pad. But in the Humidor era, I mean, there's still homers, don't get me wrong. It's way more of a base hit, gap, doubles, triples park.
It's massive.
Two. Softly to second, Steer. Jim, we are seeing Matt McLain at short today. We've seen Arroyo recently, but is there some news on when re-imaging may come for Elly De La Cruz?
Yeah, he was originally scheduled to get re-imaged a week from Monday. They have bumped that up 3 days now. He'll get imaged Friday when the Reds get back from the road trip, so that is good news.
Mason Wynn. And, you mentioned this, Cowboy, not really that much of a surprise with Elly, granted how driven he is to play.
Be careful. That's the problem that you have as a manager or a trainer with a player that's driven and forcing every day. Hey, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready. That's why he's a great player, because he has that internal drive and believes that he can be back out on the field. And that's your job as a manager and your job as a training staff and doctors to help protect him against himself.
That's where hopefully the imaging can help as they try to set whatever that time would be for him to begin earnest activities. He's doing some things right now, but very limited.
Because I can assure you that in Elly's mind, he's thinking, I played the whole year with my quad messed up. I can go. That's not what you want. You want him to be healthy. You want him to be 100%.
Off the end of the bat, Stewart shading his eyes, having a tough time seeing that ball. He did not see it.
The other problem with a hamstring, you don't want him to really blow it out, because instead of having a 2-week sit down, it becomes maybe the rest of the year sit down.
Well, they have held him back. The throwing he's done has been off of 2 knees, so he has not done any work with that hamstring as far as running or even jogging. A little bit of walking on the treadmill, that's about it.
It's a similar injury for closer Emilio Pagan. Are results in yet from any retesting today?
As of before the game, it wasn't at least delivered to us. He was supposed to have that test yesterday, so that one's still up in the air.
Good pitch.
Goes down looking. 1, 2, 3. First time for Lodolo today with bookend K's. At each and every home game, if a Red hits the Toyota Hit and Win sign, one lucky fan wins a new built-in-the-USA Toyota Tundra. Register for the Tundra Home Run Challenge and your chance at any Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky Toyota dealer. Dane Myers has a bunt hit, a run scored. He's 1 for 2. This starts third time through for Matthew Liberatore. And you had said as we got underway, Cowboy, beware of the bear of fatigue. You had cited between innings to me. You thought the 4th could be when it arrives for Liberatore, and look what we've seen between last inning and this.
Yeah, it's just what you see over 40 years of baseball in the first couple of hot days.
2-0. I told you during break, I think he might have a future in this thing. You talked about the need for Lodolo to bury the pitch in on the hands. And what does he do in his first 1-2-3 inning? He gets that finishing strikeout, burying a pitch in on the hands of the hitter.
And those are adjustments that you don't want to make 5 innings into the ball game. You want to make them immediately. You want to make it pitch to pitch rather than waiting until they've hit 3 or 4 or 7 or 8 balls into right field on a rocket to decide, well, maybe I should throw in a little bit. Too late sometimes by then.
Full count.
And you can tell when Liberatore is starting to feel it a little bit, because he really starts to miss arm side and up. That is a dead set sign of getting a little bit fatigued.
That is smoke to short, kicks on Wynn, handling for Mean late. Trying to aid his shortstop. That was sizzled by Myers.
That's another cutter that ball was right on the plate. That looked like the same pitch that Matt McLean hit out of here.
Well, scored a base hit. It's the hardest hit ball by a Red today. That was 106 off the bat. Now Myers is on for J.J. Bleday, who has reached on error, flied out. He does have a ribby. So Liberatore now first pitch ball to 5 of the last 6 as that command is eroding.
This at bat could fall right into the hands of Bleday, because Liberatore will leave the ball arm side. He's forced a couple of breaking balls off the outside corner. He's got to get a strike here somehow. Try to overthrow that fastball away, and it leaks back over the plate middle in. Might end up in that bullpen.
And they should have a flush bullpen, because Hunter Dobbins gave them 5 innings yesterday. It was announced earlier today his next outing will be in the rotation. Marmol and the Cardinals are going to go 6-man for at least a turn. So he did not have to use any of his other true relievers. They should all be available. Larger lead for Myers. Torres guarding that pull side hole dramatically. And not a great pickoff look. You would imagine if that fatigue is impacting his pitches, it could result in an E1 that gets away to first base as well. Runner goes. Pitch missed, up and in. Throw down. Not in time. Myers able to hook that left cleat on the bag and swipe second.
Another pitch missed to the arm side and up.
And it looks like we're going to get a challenge here.
St. Louis challenging the save call at second base.
Now the oddity, even with the left-handed hitter, that miss up and arm side somewhat aided Pages in being able to erupt into a throw. Is his hand on the bag? Even there on the tag, it seemed uncertain, that shaking of the hand, like, I'm not sure. I think I might have got him.
Oh, that's close. Close. I didn't think there was any way that he got him originally. You look back at that replay and looking at the glove hand and how it's open coming into the base, and that tag high on that front left shoulder.
But Cowboy, unless there's a concurrent side angle that they can time up.
We saw that last night.
It feels like the same idea, right, as Stewart on the bag.
I mean, we haven't seen anything that would suggest otherwise.
Cardinals now have a right-hander up in their bullpen.
Gordon Graceffo throwing in the Cardinal bullpen.
Here we go.
After review of the call on the field stands, the runner is safe. St. Louis will lose their challenge.
It's the same language as what injured the Reds yesterday. So Myers now 3 for 3 trying to steal as a Red. And I feel like Bleday is a Red who takes advantage of counts like this really well. Granted, it's left on left. He's got a man in scoring position, 3-1 count. He can zone a pitch. He was about to toss the bat. It's a full count. It's popped up. Myers darts back. Wynn didn't see that ball very well. This seems to be the toughest son. Last half inning, Stewart had a really hard time seeing a ball that landed in the foul seats, but he clearly lost it. And it didn't seem that Wynn had that one firmly until it was in his glove. So now Steer, whose on base streak is on the line. He does have a productive AB. Tied it with a sac fly in the third. He is also straight flied to right.
I mean, this is what you want if you're the Reds. You want one of your couple of top 2 guys to get on base and have Spencer Steer come to the plate with a chance to drive them home.
Big cut. Liberatore at this point on the ropes. Stewart on deck, who has seen him pretty well so far, even though he struck out twice. Some deeper counts. Liberatore last time out was lifted after 85 pitches. That's when he delivered 5 1/3 scoreless against the Cubs. 2-2. Big lead for Myers off second base. Another miss, arm side up. If he walks Steer, they make the move.
Yeah, you almost have to.
Steer asks for time. There's the walk. On base streak to 24 games in a row. A reset of the career high and the best active run in the game assembled by Spencer Steer.
Yeah, that's back-to-back pitches that missed high and to the arm side. I'm not sure I would have let him face Spencer Steer, but I'm not managing Cardinals.
Marmol goes to the pen. Graceffo gets the call.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cincinnati Reds. and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Reds lead thanks in part to a 2-run homer by Matt McLain. That snapped a 3-all deadlock. Skyline Chili called to the bullpen. Gordon Graceffo, who broke into the bigs against the Reds. That was late June of 2024. No current Red lifetime has one hit off Graceffo. Miss to Sal Stewart, who has struck out twice. A combination of eroding command and some good takes by the Reds. Liberatore threw 20 pitches in his first 2 innings. He threw 64 pitches in 2 1/3 after that.
I thought the Reds did a pretty good job laying off that curveball. And they forced him back onto the plate with the cutter as the game progressed. That was the ball that McLain hit out, the ball that Dane Myers hit to get this inning started.
Here's a good take by Stewart. He's had some deeper counts, but has gone down swinging twice.
Well, if you're Stewart, you're trying to make Graceffo get the ball up.
And that is high in the air, deep center field. Scott going back, trying to find the ball. He can't see it. He finds it. Runners tag, alertly steer at first. Throw in is cut. Both men advance. They saw that Scott could not see the ball, and as soon as it found his glove, they knew they could grab a bag.
Yeah, I thought he was going to lose it there at the last second. Boy, Scott did a great job of staying with it and getting down and trying to shade whatever glare is going on up there in the sky right now with the bill of his cap. He had his glove up, it wasn't working, and he kind of got the right angle there right at the end to be able to make the catch.
Second and third, Suarez has grounded out, struck out. Ball 1. Graceffo has handled lefties pretty well. Reds bench left-handed leaning today. 1-0 in the dirt. They got Dunn on deck. The bench today is Lowe and Benson, 2 true lefties. The switch hitting Arroyo, who tends to hit better as a lefty against right-handed pitching.
Well, where Graceffo has an asset up on left-handers is that's where he uses his changeup and that sinking fastball away from him.
Strike 1. Fermin guards the line at third. Many teams tend to do that against Suarez, especially here second and third. Graceffo has alternated the heater and the breaking ball so far against Suarez, which would mean he's due for a fastball. And he drops down to get strike 3. Join the Reds next Saturday as they host the D-backs. Fans in attendance receive an Andrew Abbott City Connect bobblehead thanks to St. Elizabeth Healthcare while supplies last. Reds.com/tickets. Abbott is slated to start the opener in San Diego on Monday, while Rhett Lauder will return to the Reds rotation tomorrow here in St. Louis. Wanted one on Herrera, who was fly to left and bounced into a double play. Fouled the other way. Abbott to this point 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. He's been in the zone a lot on his day. It's 57 strikes among his 79 pitches. What's your feel on Lodolo? Is he still at the early stage of 3rd time through?
I think he looks good. I mean, you got a pretty good hitter at the plate in Herrera, and he's got him a bit off balance. You just have to continue to make pitches. That's the part about facing a good hitter, or on days where you're facing a good lineup. They can make you work a little bit. The key is don't get frustrated. Just make your pitch and continue to make your pitches.
Up the middle, caught.
And good things will happen.
Soft liner to Steer. Brief word now from Jake Sweeney Chevrolet.
Jake Sweeney Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Jordan Walker singled his last time, stole second. He's also struck out. A lot of breaking balls from Lodolo to Walker today.
It took a while. It took 3 or 4 innings before the Reds actually adjusted, but you can see now with P.J. Higgins, he will slide inside on these right-handed hitters and hold that mitt right at their belt in off the plate. That's where he was sitting up. Since the ball that this man hit Jordan Walker through the right side for a base hit, there have been no more. But that's when the Reds turned the page and started coming in. If you pay attention, hitters will tell you exactly what they're looking for. If you pay attention.
Down and in. Walker jackknifes back for a full count. Since the Walker single, there have not been any hits, as you mentioned, just the 1 walk to Burleson.
Well, they haven't been able to just shoot the ball through the right side of the infield anymore like they were doing early in the ball game.
This one's driven pretty deep right center field. Myers going way back, leaps at the wall. It's off the wall. Marte stays with it. Walker celebrating a home. The twirl of the index finger by John Tempane at first base. Terry Francona swivels his head back to Freddie Benavides. The Reds might challenge. No, they will not.
It looked like a fastball belt high right down Broadway. That's because it was.
Walker's team leading 16th home run. Yep. Went into the flowers right beyond the top of the padded wall to Steer. Velasquez. I mean, Walker's having the best year of his life. He's already tied his career high in homers. The average is way up. He's always been a tremendously gifted but heavily flawed player who is just now realizing his talents. To first base, Stewart knocks it down. A solo shot by Walker, rallied from down 0-2, makes it a one-run game. Cincinnati Reds baseball is presented by Jake Sweeney Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. By Ray St. Clair Roofing, your trusted problem solver. Give us a call. And by Bet365, where winning is everything. The famous St. Louis wheel, 5-4. Reds have the lead in the 6th. Middle game of 3. Cardinals took the opener yesterday. Blake Dunn, a base hit, a steal, and a run scored. He's 1 for 2. Strike one.
What was that line in Jaws? I think we're going to need a bigger boat. I think we're going to need some more runs.
I think that is a good call.
Might as well start now.
Up and in. The tarps off crew is getting bigger and bigger. They're saying take it off as new members arrive, and they're being initiated by removing their shirts as they settle in. Strike two on Dunn. It's a noticeably bigger section than when the game started. Sixth inning, it's probably what, about 4 or 5 beers in for some. So up the middle, Blake Dunn.
Just a good piece of hitting. It's 3 hit. Seems like it's hit that way every time off the bat of Blake Dunn. This is a breaking ball. Almost backs up a little bit. If you take that patented uppercut swing there, you're probably going to pop that pitch up. And he just stays right on it, shoots it right back up the box.
Dunn has 1 multi-steal game so far in the bigs. Does have a swipe today to short by Marte beyond the backhand of Wynn. A second reach for Noelvi Marte adds a single to his walk. Matt McLean about to stand in. Last time up, our Yellowwood bringing the lumber. He launched a 2-run homer.
Cutter down and in. He drove that one. That was a blast.
He can be a bunt for a hit guy too. Go the full spectrum. First pitch. He's also walked today. He has scored twice. Outfield cheats in noticeably. There is some stirring in the Cardinal bullpen.
When you miss a slider like that, you're going to see it again. Might not be right here on this pitch, but you will see it again.
A lefty is now up and warming for St. Louis.
Right back to it.
Jojo Romero.
Because in a pitcher's mind, I'm sure Gordon Graceffo is thinking, all right, I made my good slider pitch. It started on the plate, broke. down and away. He missed it. I need to make that pitch again. He tried too much on the very next pitch. He drove it into the ground.
In the dirt again.
Tries again. Got on it too much.
Win from short just came over and offered words of encouragement to Graceffo. Payoff pitch. Grounded to second. On the spin. Fire to second in time to erase Marte on the force. Dunn over to third, and McLean able to reach. Marte stays on the bag as the Reds consider a challenge. They will not.
That was great hustle by Noelvi Marte. You know there's going to be a play right in front of you, and he is busting it down to second base.
Fielder's choice. Now Higgins, who was popped out fly down. Got a burner at third. Pedro Pages had 8 pass balls last year, second most in the National League.
And that curveball from Graceffo sometimes has a mind of its own.
He has spiked a few already. Burleson crashed in hard from first base on release of the pitch. Have to think part of the reason the lefty Romero got up to try to nullify the bench options for Terry Francona for both Higgins at the plate, Myers on deck. Bounced up the middle. Torres hits the bag. Catcher running. Double play. '26 Reds Rookies memberships are available now for young Reds fans up to 3 years old. It includes exclusive merch, free Reds tickets, and special members-only experiences at the ballpark. Purchase today, Reds.com/fanclubs. (5-4) Reds, bottom 6. TJ Antone is up in the Reds pen. Nick Lodolo on the mound to begin the 6th, facing Jose Fermin, who has singled scored. He's 1 for 2. Well, Lodolo just north of 90 pitches. Bidding for a chance to go 6 in a 3rd straight start. He labored the most with 28 pitches in the 3-run 2nd. Served over second, base hit.
0-2. See that Higgins is set up inside. That's a perfect shot for it too. Higgins, helmet, everything hidden by the umpire because he's so far inside, and then you see the ball come away and then jettison into center field.
Torres bunt foul. The velo was down noticeably on that fastball, Cowboy. That was barely over 92. Lodolo's been living 94, 95 today.
Well, with the struggles that the Reds have had in their bullpen, there is a lot to be asked of starters, especially one of the ilk of Nick Lodolo.
Torres chops it. Suarez barehead snap throw tall. Stewart off the bag. 2 on.
Looked like Suarez got in between there, whether he wanted to let it go foul or pick it up. He paused momentarily, and once you pause, you're stuck. That's the second time today that Torres and his speed has taken advantage of Suarez at third.
Scored a base hit. Terry Francona out to the mound. Antone by now is ready. That's all for Lodolo. 2 on, nobody out. The lead at 1. A sea of singles, season high 10 hits, 5 innings. Nick Lodolo leaves in line for the win. His book's still open. 2 on, nobody out. The lead at a single score. It's TJ Antone.
Well, fortunately for Antone, he's at the bottom of the Cardinal order. And you've got a guy at the plate that is a catcher running. No better time than the present for a double play.
He is a capable bunter. 4 sacrifices already. Suarez on the grass at third. Stewart creeps at first. A square. Runners go. Throw down to third. Tag. Save. The Reds could smell it coming on the double steal. An immediate throw down by Higgins, but he's ruled safe. And they will not challenge. An aggressive move there. Double steal. It was ball 1. Pages is 0 for 2. Higgins strolls Antone to the mound. First base is open. Lars Nootbaar, it looks like, will now stand in mid at bat. So now that it's second and third, Ali Marmol elects to yank Pages and have Nootbaar, who made a season debut yesterday, lifted from the 60 after off-season heel surgery, had a ribby double, an infield hit, scored a run, stand in.
You can call it gutsy, you can call it whatever you want. You've got a new pitcher on the mound. That was a great and absolutely phenomenal play put on by manager Oliver Marmol. You've got some speed on the base pass. You've got a pitcher coming into the ball game. His only concentration is thinking that the hitter will bunt. 1 looks to second base.
Is this the right call? They intentionally walked Nootbaar. And it looks like we might get another pinch hitter as Scott was yanked back. And it looks like Jimmy Crooks is going to stand in to pinch hit. Bases loaded for Crooks, who walked twice, once with the bases loaded yesterday, went 0 for 3.
One pitch at a time. One pitch at a time.
Strike 1. Antone and the Reds are on the tightrope with no net. The lead at 1, bases loaded, nobody out. Ryan Stanek is up at the Cardinal pen. 0-2.
Got another pitch to play with here.
Smothered by Higgins, 2-2. Fermin, the lead runner, the tying run. Bounced foul. Bounce to first. Stewart comes home for a force. They cut down the lead man. Throw to first. In time. Double play. Oh, nicely done by the Reds.
That's the risk that you run when you put a catcher in to pinch hit with the bases loaded. Because catchers do not run well. And if they hit a ground ball, as Crooks did there, you've got a chance for a double play, and the Reds made it happen.
Cardinals indicated they were challenging, I thought. I saw both hands go up to the side of the head for Marmol, but there's no challenge. Our All-State good hands replay.
Did they lose their challenge earlier?
That's right. So he tried to challenge, but doesn't have it. So now it's second and third, 2 down. Mason Wynn. Strike one. And they tried to challenge on the caught stealing when Dane Myers went into second base, in a similar look to what the Reds suffered with Sal Stewart staying on the bag yesterday. 0-2. Oh, what a Houdini this could be for T.J. Antone of the Reds. Bases loaded, nobody out.
Well, you've got a great chance here because Mason Wynn is in swing mode. Last 2 pitches that he has swung at have been out of the zone, both breaking balls.
To short, McLean, speedy runner, got him! T.J. Antone and the Reds get out of a bases-loaded jam. They preserve the line for Lodolo. He's still in line for the win, and the Reds still have the lead. Our Toyota game summary. There must have been a scoring change on a hit. It's now 9 for the Cardinals. A season high 9 allowed by Lodolo, who went 5+. He outpitched Liberatore. Matt McLean, critical 2-run homer, gave the Reds the lead for the first time. They have a 5-4 edge as we go to the 7th. Ryan Stanek is on the mound.
They're going to give Suarez an error on that ball that Brian Torres hit.
Popped up by Dane Myers. Burleson secures the first out. Now Lars Nootbaar pinch hit. He has taken over in center field. And Jimmy Crooks is now in to catch. J.J. Bleday, 0 for 3 with an RBI, has reached on error. Hard foul. Roll to second. 2 down. Brief word now from Big Sandy Superstore.
You'll find the best selection of the top brands at the guaranteed lowest price. Big Sandy Superstore in Fairfield and the Kenwood Shopping Center.
Well, Steer brought his on base streak to 24 games, a walk in the 5th, also has a sac fly. He's 0 for 1. Time for Steer. Sam Maul is up in the Reds pen. Bounce to short, win. Lightning quick inning for Stenick.
P.J. Antone back on the hill. Let's take you inside the game. Players like to have particular things on their glove. On one side of his glove, his twin boys and their names. Nico, Kai on one side. On the other side, he has a Rawlings glove, and you get a choice of some things you can put on there. And one of the choices is called Checkmate. He's very much into chess. That is the king. And boy, has that glove worked its way into high leverage situations the hard way.
Antone's gambit. First pitch, Herrera to right center. Gets down for a hit. And now Jordan Walker. If you're trying to evaluate the most dangerous minefield section of the Cardinal lineup,
I think that's part of the reason Ball is up in case Burleson comes to the plate here in this inning.
Walker homered in the 5th, his team leading 16th. He's also singled and stolen a bag. Time for Walker. Oh, 2. Fouled. Stewart over. Up against the rail. Into the dugout. Walker's home run, our StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud. Antone acutely aware of Herrera at first base. 0-2 again. Front door miss. Well, the Cardinal bench at this point is Gorman and, in theory, Weatherholt, who has not played this whole series. Been out with groin pain. Not IL'd, but hasn't been on the field. Swung through, strike 3.
That pitch was not actually as sharp as the prior pitch, but it started on the plate. And by starting it on the plate, you get a commitment from the hitter.
The 2 added pitches for Antone, the cutter and the sweeper, have been big weapons.
Well, that breaking ball right there is his #1 pitch. It's hard, it's late, it bites quick, and hitters are not picking it up at all.
Velasquez 0 for 3.
That pitch. He's thrown it twice in a row to Velasquez, and those are nothing swings. Now you've got it in the back of the mind of Velasquez. Hey, I got to protect on that pitch. You can throw this ball in. You can catch the inside corner. You can throw it up.
We were talking in advance of the game today, and you were describing the ideal type of cutter for its effectiveness on the hitter.
That one.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Antone.
I think what you're trying to do is you're trying to get the ball to break as late as possible. That means you want the ball to break closer to home plate. The bigger the break, the closer to the pitcher's mound that the ball breaks, and the hitter sees it. The closer to home plate that the ball breaks, the hitter can't pick it up. Your eyes just won't be able to see it.
Now with the left-handed Burleson due up, Terry Francona goes to Sam Maul. Pitching change, man on, 2 down, the lead at 1.
Sense.
Reds ahead by a skinny score. 7 on a hot day in St. Louis. Cardinals have a man on, 2 down. Left on left, it's Sam Maul against Alec Burleson. They faced each other once before. Maul has struck him out. Burleson in this game, a single, a walk, a run scored. He's got 3 hits, couple of walks, a home run on the series. Tying run is on. Herrera held on a light lead. Strike 1. The sweeper we spoke of with Antone, he discovered that pitch thanks to playing catch with Maul. George Soriano warms in the St. Louis pen. Antone loved the action on that pitch. Said, show me how you throw it. It allowed Antone to strike out back-to-back Cardinals, and then bring in Maul to go left on left against Burleson.
And the crazy part about it, John, is you'll see another pitcher throw a certain pitch like you were talking about, and you think, all right, well, I want to throw that pitch. In your mind's eye, you're seeing his pitch come out of your hand, which in effect, that pitch was more of a true slider, short, quick, and late. But if you think it's an awesome pitch, you know what? You're going to be aggressive with it, and it's going to end up serving you well.
Pitching with conviction. This one is golfed in the air. It hangs to center. Myers trying to find it. Hand up. He's got it. End of inning. Leadoff hit. Herrera never leaves first base.
Elk and Elk injury report for today. It involves Hunter Green, who a couple days ago threw another bullpen out in Arizona. He's at the complex in Goodyear. This week, excuse me, on Monday, set to face live hitters. They're hoping he faces live hitters twice this week, so it continues to be good news on the Hunter Green front.
Well, thank you, Jim. George Soriano, the former Marlin, is in. Broke in with the Marlins in 23. He lived the wild world of the waiver wire in the offseason. A buzz high and tight on Stewart, who's 0 for 3. He was waiver claimed by Baltimore, claimed by the Braves, claimed by the Nationals, and eventually traded to the Cardinals in February. Way in again on Stewart.
Great arm by Soriano. Great movement on the fastball. But when you're evaluating a guy like Soriano, you don't really know if he's going to throw it over the plate or if he's going to hit somebody in the dugout.
This is sent to medium center. Newt Barr. Eugenio Suarez 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts.
My question is, watching Soriano right now, he hadn't thrown a strike yet. He has an out and he's ahead of Suarez 0-1. Can he throw 3 strikes out of 7 pitches? That would be my interpretation if I'm a hitter coming to the plate against a guy that's wilder than a March Hare.
Out of the zone.
I mean, he literally has not thrown the ball over the plate yet. Ball 7. And that's the part when you've got a guy coming into the ball game that's opponent, he's going to get banked for a delay, and that's going to be a ball, so it's going to be a 3-1 count. Timer violation.
Don't see those very often anymore. Yeah, Suarez chip shot, shallow right. Torres 2 down. The Cowboy, the lead is at just 1. What's your feel in this late stage of the game? How do the Reds get from here to end the game and try to preserve this lead?
Well, let me ask you this. Do you have a quarter?
I do not.
Okay. Because if you had one, I would be flipping it, and that's how I would make my decision. There's a strike.
In a 1-run game, May and Maxwell threw yesterday. It really struggled. Brock Burke threw yesterday. McCambley went a long time yesterday. Which
like I said, you got a quarter.
The other 2 options. Now, Maul is probably not coming out. There's nobody warming. Maul can give you some more outs. But your other 2 options are Caleb Ferguson and Tony Santiago. That's it. That's the rest of the bullpen. Now, you do have Chris Paddock, who has not yet pitched in relief with the Reds.
Look, I have no problem with Ferguson in a leveraged spot.
That's a fair ball. That's extra bases. Kicks off the sidewall. And Dunn motors into second, standing with a double. That's a 3-hit day for Blake Dunn. Yeah, Ferguson is one of the more veteran men available down there.
Well, I don't know
so
how he'll handle that, but every other spot that Tito has put him in, he's thrown the ball awfully well. He did give up the hit to Michael Harris with the bases loaded the other day, but Lord have mercy, Michael Harris is hitting everybody in the big leagues right now.
Marte tops it to third. Dunn initially broke. Throw on to first in time. Join the Reds for Budweiser 3-2-1 Tuesdays. At every Tuesday home game, you can enjoy select $3 beers, $2 hot dogs, $1 ice cream cups. Get tickets now, Reds.com/Tuesday. Edwin Arroyo has entered the game, a defensive upgrade at second base. Looks like Sal Stewart is now at third. Spencer Steer is at first, and Suarez is out of the game. Sam Maul still on the mound. First pitch strike to Jose Fermin. Amal faced one man and got out of the seventh. So he has some pitches to burn. Getting loose behind him, Tony Santillan is up and warming with the Reds up 1.
Well, after Fermin, you've got 3 straight lefties due up.
Two and 1. Grounded foul. So that means Arroyo now hits in the 5th position. Reds go 8, 9, and 1 in the visiting 9th. McLean, Higgins, Myers. Full count. Cardinals have put their leadoff man on 5 times in the first 7 innings, all on hits. Grounded right side by the backhand of Steer. It leaks into right. That's the 6th hit to begin an inning for St. Louis today.
Third time today that Fermin has hit the ball to the right side of second base.
Brian Torres has shown bunt a bunch. His bunt base hit was changed to a Suarez E5 in the 6th. It's Stewart creeping at third here. Square. Drop down. Stewart's got it. Sacrifice complete. And what an alert job by P.J. Higgins. As Stewart came across so deep, Higgins went and covered at third base to make sure that Fermin could not sneak and grab 90 feet from the plate. Lars Nootbaar was intentionally walked when he pinch hit in the 6th. He inherited a 1-0 count. They put him on.
Nootbaar will try to take that breaking ball and hit it through the left side of the infield. He has a tough time with it.
Ball ahead 0-2. Double barrel in the Cardinal pen. Both Swanson and O'Brien are up. Down to the wing. His second game of the year, his first home run And the Reds trail 6-5.
That breaking ball looked like it just stayed up there for him. Stayed on the inside part of the plate.
Now Crooks. The loudest this ballpark has been all day. Now with the Reds trailing, they have to be thinking about hitting for Higgins. I would assume Nathaniel Lowe with that 9th position due up second. McLean is set to lead it off in the 9th. Strike 3 called. And here comes Terry Francona. Before Mason Wynn could even settle in, he's going to make the move. So Maul surrenders a go-ahead homer. Tony Santillan will come in with the Reds down a run. Cincinnati Reds baseball is presented by your Greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky Jeep dealers. And by Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it. 2-run homer by Lars Nootbaar, left on left against Sam Maul. Has created a Cardinal edge. Tony Santillan is in. As Santillan was warming with the Reds up 1, has not had a save try since he blew the save game 2 against the Cardinals doubleheader 2 weeks ago. Mason Wynn 2 hits, 2 ribbies. Two-one, way in. It was Matt Swanson and Riley O'Brien. It's now just O'Brien preparing for the Cardinals in their pen. Full count. Swing and a miss, lost by Higgins. Wynn jogs down. Higgins gathers, throw down, completes the putout. Strikeout Santillan. Matt McLean will get it going for the Reds. He gave them a lead the first time today. He'll lead the charge, trying to at least tie it up. Reds TV presented by Benefits All In. Reds down 1, 9th inning in St. Louis, a 6-5 Cardinal edge. A man who broke into the bigs as a Red The Cardinal closer Riley O'Brien, 4th most saves in the show. Faces Matt McLain, who's been on 3 times, a walk, a homer. He's reached on fielder's choice. Now remember, when Tony Santillan blew the save against St. Louis, doubleheader game 2, a couple of weeks ago, it was Riley O'Brien who took the loss in that game. He walked Dane Myers and the free runner came home as he yanks this pitch badly. Skips Plinko style over the netting. Gave up the walk-off ribby fielder's choice to Blake Dunn. That's sent to right. Walker started back, angles in. One away. Brief word now from Miami Valley Gaming.
Get ready to get lucky at MVG. With over 2,200 of the best gaming machines, we got you covered.
Well, looks like Caleb Ferguson is up in the Reds' pen. Nathaniel Lowe pinch hits for P.J. Higgins. Strike 1. Lowe was 0 for 4 yesterday. Flied out to deep right and deep center. Also had a 10-pitch plate appearance that ended in a foul tip, strike 3. Both teams still have 2 ABS challenges to lose. If it's even close, you use it here. Swung through, strike 3. We'll get another pinch hitter. Will Benson is going to stand in for Myers. He is the last man standing for the Reds. J.J. Bleday on deck. Grounded through, base hit. Tying run is on. The Reds stay alive.
First pitch fastball ran middle away. Benson just shoots it back up right through the box.
So now arguably the Reds' best power hitter, J.J. Bleday, stands in. Tying run is on. Go ahead run at the plate. Strike 1. Bleday has a ribby when he reached on error. He's 0 for 4.
That's how he started low, starting with a backdoor breaking ball, then came with a fastball riding away from him.
Bleday had a monster May, was rightfully christened the National League Player of the Month. He has begun June 3 for 20. That's sharply sent beyond second base hit. Benson burning through second. Scoop by Nootbaar at center. Benson has third. And the tying run is 90 feet away.
Fastball out over the plate. It was up.
Entering today, 1 current Red, had a lifetime homer off Cardinal closer Riley O'Brien. His former teammate Spencer Steer, who stands in a walk and a sac fly today.
Stay alive for the wild pitch if you're Will Benson.
Ball one.
We've already seen one go to the backstop with nobody aboard. O'Brien has that ability to over torque one of those breaking balls.
He has 9 wild pitches on his career, and over half have come in 2 months this season. Here's a cavernous amount of room on the right side of the infield. Misses 3-0. And I'm shocked that Jimmy Crooks didn't try to ABS challenge there, unless he clearly knew it was a ball. Strike one. The Reds trailed 3-0. They led 5-3. They're down 6-5. Down to their last out. Bleday goes. Steer swings. Foul tip. Bleday steals second. And that's a big deal because now on a base hit, the Reds could have the lead. Their most consistent sticker at the plate. The Cardinal closer comes home. Away, and Steer is on to load the bases for Sal Stewart. Very slow stroll out as the entire infield converges. Stewart is 0 for 4 today. He has struck out twice. He has flied to center twice.
You can see both Sal Stewart and Spencer Steer talking, and now here comes Steer back towards the dugout. He's going to have a conversation with Sal Stewart about the movement of Riley O'Brien. Most hitters want to know, is that fastball moving flat or is it sinking? There's a difference between the two. There's a lot of velocity in the fastball of Riley O'Brien, up close to 100 miles an hour.
Will Benson delivered a pinch hit base hit with 2 down, the first of 3 straight Reds to reach. He is the tying run off third base. Ball one to Stewart. One of Stewart's bigger games last year when he first broke into the bigs came here in St. Louis in mid-September. ABS.
Call strike is being challenged by the batter.
Third pitch today that he has challenged and won.
Here's the ball. Cincinnati.
In his limited big league time, Stewart 3 for 6, bases loaded and a walk. Ball 3. The knowing nod from the rookie, who has a commanding count. And a warning for O'Brien to make sure he makes eye contact. Strike one.
Can O'Brien throw 3 strikes in a row?
He's walked a man bases loaded once on his career. Benson the tying run off third base. 3-1. He walked him, and it's a tie game. Oh, what a clutch plate appearance for Sal Stewart, and the Reds have new life. It's 6-6.
I think the challenge is from the Cardinals this time around.
Oh, and it's a strike. Stewart had already removed the protective gear. It just clipped the zone. It's a full count. They'll do it again. He went full on steer and walked it. Stewart wants a timeout. One of those backyard moments, the rookie at the plate, bases loaded, 2 down, down 1. Grounded to second base. Reds lose. The Cardinals claim the game. With it, they have secured the series. The Reds have lost 7 of 9. They are now 2-12 in divisional play. The Cardinals have won 3 straight for the first time in 3 weeks.
Reds had a nice lead early, but they gave it back late.
Reds post game to come. St. Louis secures the series. The Reds fall 6-5.